Wow! You asked us for Forestella's Je suis malade. And here it is, for your pleasure.
Rêve plus, je ne fume plus, je ne m'aime plus d'histoire. Je suis seul sur toi, je suis laid sur toi, comme une orpheline. Dans un docteur, je n'ai plus envie de vivre ma vie, c'est ce quand tu pars. Je n'ai plus de vie et même mon lit se transforme en quai de cœur. Quand tu t'en vas, je suis malade.
Wow!
I was not expecting the transition of singers mid-phrase. That was... I'll let you say it.
That was amazing. I didn't expect that. That was so unexpected. I was just sucked into this first guy's voice, just right in there, and his French diction is very good. And we're just in there, and he's it's so nice. And then when they shifted that, it was just like, whoa! You know, it's like when you're flying your spaceship, and then you punch the hyperdrive. And then it just like goes. I mean, you're already going fast because you're in space, right? But then when you do the hyperdrive, you're like, and that's what I felt like. So,
I from the beginning, when it started, you could just hear the light rain noise, right? And they had the whole set with the rain coming down. I thought the set work was amazing. Good intro. The intro music was beautiful. It set the scene. It's very, very French. I'm not familiar with this song. Maybe I should be, but I'm not. So hearing it from the beginning, the intro was beautiful, and it built up, and then they had the nice pause, the pause to just like set a little bit of anxiety in there. You're like, why hasn't he started yet? It's silent. You guys know it's silent, right?
It hurts.
And then he begins.
Oh, it's so smooth.
But so smooth.
Like, it just like, he starts, and it warms you.
Yes.
It like warms you, but like doesn't startle you.
Yes.
You get startled when the second guy sings. Oh, that was
when
a surprise.
he started, it's like you've built up all this tension with that long pause.
Yeah. But
he doesn't jump out at you. There's no jump scare.
Right.
It's like someone walks up behind you and just goes, "It's all right."
It could be scary. I mean, why are they walking up behind you and stroking your back? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's okay.
There's no jump scare.
It's okay.
But you get what I'm saying. It's calm. It's smooth. It takes all that tension and just lets you
It's warming. You know, it's like when the heater kicks on, but you don't hear it, and then you just like get warmed up. No,
the seat heater in the car.
It's like the seat heater. You're like it wasn't there bbefore, but it's there now. Yes. But it didn't hurt. It didn't surprise me when it happened.
Yes.
But I really love the accordion in that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what a perfect way to Frenchify that. I mean, and the violin, I think using these choices of instruments was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
The violin and the accordion, probably not where my mind would have gone if I was like, hey, could you pick the accompaniment for this? But that's why I'm not in charge of choosing the accompaniment.
Yes. Oh, beautiful. Okay, I'm ready
Play
to
from
hear
the
that.
beginning, from the beginning of the vocals.
Okay. That tension. They wait so long beyond when you expect them to sing. It's just the tension just builds and builds. And then
Oh, you're right.
rêve plus.
and it's just the anxiety just melts away.
Yeah.
It's such a soft, gentle, like calming voice that calls to you. Oh, it's perfectly
Je
done.
ne fume plus, je ne m'aime plus d'histoire. Je suis seul sur toi, je suis laid sur toi, comme une orpheline. Dans un docteur, je n'ai plus envie de vivre ma vie. Ma vie, c'est ce quand tu pars. Je n'ai plus de vie et même mon lit se transforme en quai de gare. Quand tu t'en vas, je suis.
Okay, I'm going to back it up one more time, but I loved the way that they had the piano, and it was a very rhythmic dun 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 dun, and just going up and down slowly behind him. All of the emphasis was on his voice.
Yes. Totally.
And then in the last line, the Je suis malade, it cuts out to where it's just his voice before the switch.
Oh, do it again.
Quand tu t'en vas, je suis malade.
See that?
And then they come in with the cymbal or
Yes.
the hi-hat.
Excellent. This entire thing has been.
It's very well arranged.
Yes, that's the word. Arranged. The arrangement.
It's like choreographed. That was the word that came to mind.
It's same.
It's
Same.
choreographed for your mouth. That sounded weird.
Malade, complètement malade, comme quand ma main dans le soir et que me laisse sur la paix. Mon Dieu, ce soir je suis malade, parfaitement malade. Ta chiffon ne sait jamais quand, tu m'en ne sais jamais où. Et ça va faire bien dans des sons que tu t'en fous.
Oh, that end. Okay. That was like this the thing that you were talking about with the last guy. Only they didn't come in with the hi-hat there. They just let the music drop. Did you guys feel that? Did you guys hear that? When he puts in that last word all by itself. It's like being in just like an empty room and just feeling feelings.
I had my eyes closed. I just backed up to the.
So
the
does she. I mean,
222.
she's like crying over here.
Yeah, I
Like,
had my eyes closed just to listen to it, just to enjoy it, to feel the goosebumps fully, and just imagine like just sitting in a hammock on kind of a cold day with just this playing lightly, just like just pure relaxation. But her face right there is it's perfectly exposing. This makes you feel things.
Yeah.
You can't hear this and just be like, oh yeah, I could do that. No, I can't do that. I'm not even close to doing that. But it's so incredible to hear someone with that skill level who can, with their words, even if you don't understand the lyric, I speak no French, none whatsoever, and I can still feel the emotions they're putting through in this. The way he uses the tension on his voice in the right moments to give an almost pleading, a caring and a pleading into the words, that dying out last
Yes.
word in the silence as his voice quivered into silence. Just beautifully done, beautifully performed, beautifully arranged. This has been so impressive so far.
What's really nice about this, I'm just going to point this out, is we do a lot of reactions for like flashy music videos with all kinds of like production value and choreography and like special effects and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is just them singing with some very gentle accompaniment. And yet, I think that we've rewound, gone back. Oh man, I don't even know the word for that. Be kind, please rewind. And like so many times because you just want to hear it over and over again. What I really want to do is hear it all the way through, but that's not why you're here. So.
Que tu t'en fous.
Yes, that's how I feel.
Rocher, comme un péché, je suis accroché à toi. Je suis fatigué, je suis épuisé de faits qui semblent d'être heureuses. Quand ils sont là, je bois toutes les nuits, mais tous les whisky
Oh,
pour moi.
did you hear that?
Yes,
Did you hear that?
I heard it. I heard
Okay,
it.
the emotional expression via the vocals in this is just next level. It's supreme. The amount of emotion that they're able to convey through this. It's not like, oh, I'm so depressed, I'm so tired, I'm so unhappy, I'm hitting the booze. No, this is like they're singing this. They're not telling their life story here, right? But using their vocal techniques, whether, like you said, a mix of compression and relaxation and different things, it helps to tell this story and convey the meaning that the song once conveyed. And they're doing that so impeccably. So impeccably. Impeccable. Yeah, there you go. French.
Je suis épuisé de faits qui semblent d'être heureuses. Quand ils sont là, je bois toutes les nuits, mais tous les whisky.
Oh, man.
Is that what is he doing with his voice there? It hits so hard that
It's almost like a cry.
yeah, it's like a Greek crying.
Play it one more time.
Je bois toutes les nuits, mais tous les whisky.
It's a whiskey.
It's the performance value
Yeah.
that he's bringing vocally,
That's nice.
and it's not like they're doing performances like dancing around on the stage. Like those are very impressive performances too. This is just them standing and singing. All the performance has to happen here.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is Korean music particularly is known for having some of the best production, right? They're like all around performers, not just singers, right? They sing, they dance, they do choreography, they do acting, they special effects, like all
Amazing
the things.
sets.
Like all the things. These guys are just doing the singing. And it is phenomenal. The level of skill that they are utilizing and demonstrating in just the singing is incredible. Please play that line one more time. I'm sorry. Sorry guys, I can't get enough.
De faits qui semblent d'être heureuses. Quand ils sont là, je bois toutes les nuits, mais tous les whisky pour moi ont le même goût. Et tous les matins, pour que de temps à temps, je sais plus sourire. Tu es partout, je suis malade, comme complètement malade. Je vais seulement dans ton corps, et je suis comme un oiseau, comme toi dis dont je suis malade, parfaitement malade.
Tu m'as privé de tous mes chants, tu m'as privé de tous mes mots.
I have to listen to this again. Every single I'm trying to isolate each singer in my mind to be like, how's this one doing? How's that one doing? How's that? I can't discern a single thing that I would be like, oh yeah, they should tweak this just a little bit out of any of them.
No,
I can't critique anything. It just comes across as perfect.
and there's like there have been times where we listen to a band, and even this band, where we hear a few people singing and we're like, oh, these guys are the standout to me, right? Like this guy and this guy. In that ensemble right there, every single person was a standout on their own, and then combined together,
That is peak quartet.
it was there was even like stylistic differences in there.
Well, yes,
and that didn't like feel disjointed or like it didn't mesh. Like it was just like it just gave so much more feeling to it.
yeah. So I think what it did is it added a depth of emotion. So each singer has really done their best or done a very good job at portraying one emotion very deeply. You've got the pleading sounding, you've got the crying sounding, you've got the soothing sound from the first singer. The fourth singer had very much the screaming passion, you know, the Mariah Carey style, very clear high notes, not as high as her, but that style, right? And when they all came together, it didn't degrade from any of it because it took all those emotions and helped create one full feeling. Normally when we're feeling emotions, there's a mixture of emotions in there to create a more nuanced emotion that we can usually have words for to express more deeply. But this was that expressed vocally. Psychologists have like their charts of like, these are the 4 emotions that like all the little kids feel. As they grow up, they get more and more emotions. They get more and more nuanced with it. And there's mixtures of them. This was mixing them with singing in real time. And it felt so deep.
They'll have to like put an addendum on the chart, like Forestella. They're like happy, sad, Forestella. Like,
Forestella has its own emotion on the emotion chart.
Pour que tout ton amour, je sais que tu es partout, je suis malade, complètement malade. Je vais seulement dans ton corps, et je suis comme un oiseau, comme toi et dont je suis. J'avais du talent à bon tapon. C'est un moment assis à continue, tu connais la soie avec moi, près de ma radio, comme un castillo. Je suis malade, complètement malade.
Comme ma sorte le soir et qu'elle me laisse seul avec mon désespoir, je suis malade.
Please understand, I'm pausing this out of pure obligation, and I do not want to.
that guy looks like someone I know.
That guy looks like how I feel. Wow. That the combinations were so on point that it didn't feel like 4 people singing. It felt like you had pressed 4 keys on the piano because they're always going to hit the exact note. It felt like they hit the exact note. There was no deviation by little hertz here and there. It was perfectly combined. The emotion down to the last powerful note they hit with the voice crack in there. I don't think that was on purpose, but it still added so much because you could tell it meant he knew what he was singing about and he was doing it with all of his heart.
I disagree. I think it was intentional.
You think so? You think that voice crack was?
I think that was an application of skill.
Really?
And that can be done without like intentionally doing that. But I think that was an application of skill. And I think more than one person did it.
Oh, really? I thought it was just the...
It may have just been the
I thought
third
it was the
guy.
second guy.
The I can't tell. It may
The
have
fourth
just,
guy who was isolated. But
it
on the 4 on the screen, I thought it was the second guy.
it might have just been one person. I thought it was 2. But I do think it's an application of skill. I think that when they are singing that song in rehearsal, I think he is doing that. That said, that is even more powerful
Yeah, 'cause
than
it's
just
harder to do.
doing it because you're feeling the emotion. Like if you can convey that and practice that and just let it hit right in the right spot like that through rehearsal and through the performance to where it's like, dude, that guy's really into this. Like, it's like, no, dude, that guy's so practiced at this that you think that he's really into this, but he's really into it too. Don't get me wrong. Like there is a the emotion that you're feeling during the performance is a factor, like 100%. percent When I say 100%, like, I mean, it's a factor. It's not 100%.
It's not the only factor.
Right.
By any stretch.
But I think it was intentional. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Was that intentional, like the voice crack at the end, or was that rehearsed? Or sorry, that was the same thing. So I just like advocated for myself twice there. Chase or Remington? vote below.
Et qu'elle me laisse seul avec mon désespoir, je suis malade. Je ne t'ai complètement malade, malade. C'est pas qui garde, je suis malade.
I could not hear it, but I could see that they were running out of air at the end of that. They managed to continue pushing as their lungs were running out of air, push out enough to maintain that sound, which is not easy to do. If you've done any amount of singing, choral or otherwise, you know how hard that feels when you're running out of air trying to keep the volume up. They pulled it off. You could see that guy was like, oh, I'm almost out. I need to get to the end of this note. He did make it, and he kept the volume up while going through that. So
And
that was
crescendoing.
Yes, that was very impressive. The high notes are amazing. I loved that entire sequence. And one thing that I loved about that sequence is how they focused on each other
Yeah.
so that they could play off of each other
Yes.
through that entire segment. It no longer felt like one person being showcased the whole time. It felt like two people who were working together, who were doing a vocal tango to make sure that every note lined up perfectly and you could feel the emotions bouncing.
So one of the things that I really liked about this last section here was actually the kind of throughout the first 90% of it, it all feels very connected. There are parts where it is like fairly distant, like from the first singer to the second at the beginning, where you're like here, and then out there, and then you're just like, whoa, wow. But one of the things that I really liked in this section is they had a point where it was like, instead of feeling so blended, it felt like there was some clash, almost like the desperation and the emotions were like fighting each other.
Yeah, they were lashing out. It was like a couple fighting.
Yes.
All those emotions just clashing. You
Yes.
don't quite know what to do.
And I like that it gave that contrast. I like that it didn't do that throughout the whole thing, but that it saved it for like a 5-second bit at the end, because it just did something to it. It just grounded up. It made it more gritty. It made it more unrefined. But it was intentional. Again, like that's a practice thing. But man, that was good.
Did you notice the acapella section? There was an acapella section in there. It was the not the first section where they're singing together, but the second section where they're singing together. The music was gone, and it made every note just so impactful. You were completely drawn in. And normally the acapella, I feel like it's less enveloping, but if you have a very, very skilled singer, it can be more so because every note is accentuated and it's just that note. And they did a very good job singing that a cappella section. I forgot to mention that before, but the a cappella section I did notice, and I was like, this. They have no hiding behind piano notes to mask some of their imperfection. Yeah. Everything had to be spot on.
Right, or trying to grab pitch.
Yeah,
they don't need to grab pitch. They've got it. It's good.
amount of applause felt completely inadequate.
There's like 3
for how
people
amazing
clapping.
that performance
Yeah,
was.
that was good. Because there was only like 3 people clapping.
I know.
The judges, right? I think. Really glad you guys gave us that recommendation. First of all, a bunch of people recommended this. One person like threw some money at us and said, "Please do this song," and we're like, "For you, sweetheart."
We'll do it.
Yeah. So anyway, if you do throw money at us, we do songs. We're like, circus monkeys, I guess. I don't know. Really happy this one happened. Please give us your recommendations. One of the number one places we look for is your recommendations for the next song to do. So hit us with those in the comments. Don't hit us too hard because we're fragile, emotionally at least. And we'll see you guys later. Unless you have more thoughts. Did you want to have finals?
I was just going to say that entire performance, everything from the arrangement, from the actual performing of it, the vocal techniques, and the vocal on-pointness. That's a better way to say that. Accuracy. The vocal accuracy was phenomenal. I thought the entire thing was done. I can't imagine a way that I would improve it. So it was done amazingly well. That was cool.
Thank you guys. Thanks for being with us on this journey. We'll see you guys in the next one.